Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just bringing you a tutorial on that animation that I had with the spheres blowing up, and it looked really cool. 'Cause somebody asked me to show them how I did it, so I'm just going to. And yeah, so in Cinema 4D, I'm just gonna start from scratch. Obviously, I started with a sphere, because what else would I start with? So I started with a sphere, and when you highlight it, you can see the segments. These little boxes. We want to change those because that's what explodes off of it. So we're gonna change the amount of segments from right now it's at 24. We want a lot of them, so we're gonna put about 60. And then type. You don't want these little squares, so you can just play around with this. Tetrahedron, just perfect triangles. Hexahedron, it looks kind of weird, but it's still mostly squares. I don't really like that. I like more of the isohedron and the hemisphere. Well, no, not the hemisphere. I meant the octahedron. These two are the best ones. I'm going to use isohedron just because I think it looks the best. It's like random triangles. Like some are bigger, some are smaller. As you can see, like right here, there's like a pentagon thing going on. Everything like revolves around the pentagons in the corners or whatever. So yeah, you're gonna start with that, and you're probably gonna wanna put a material on that. So I have a bunch of materials that I'm just gonna load in just to start off, so I don't have to waste time making a material. So I have a bunch of materials right here, and I think I'm gonna do a greenish color, but this one right here isn't dark enough. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna change that. A little bit darker. That's better. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But I don't have any lights right now, so there's just a light coming from where I am, which is why you see that. So now just grab an array, put the sphere on the array, and now you have like 6 spheres. Yeah, 6. 8. I lied. 7 copies, and this one counts as one. So there's 8 total. I'm gonna keep it at I'll keep it at that. But you're gonna want to change the radius that they're like pretty spaced out. Put it like 500 maybe. Yeah, that's good. Now maybe a bit smaller. 450. No, even smaller. 400. Yeah, I like that. That's fine. And now you have your materialed spheres, and you have 8 of them, or however many you want. So now you're gonna go into this with the little this up here with a little bend, and you're gonna go to not explosion. You're gonna go to explosion FX, and drag that onto the sphere, which is on the array. So now you see everything blew up like that. It's all blown up. But you're gonna go on this and go to explosion and just turn the strength down to 0 for now. So it's just normal. And then variation. If you want it to be like perpendicular isn't the word. Symmetrical, like the one I had where each sphere exploded in the same exact way and just created like this trippy symmetrical look. Then you want to have like variation on everything down to like 0. And you're going to want to have like no randomization at all on it. Or else it's just going to do whatever it wants. And it won't look the same on each sphere. So now that you have that, I guess we can get into keyframing the explosion to make it start like this and go out to an explosion. So I'm going to make this from 90 to about 500. And I'm going to turn on auto keyframing. And alright, so explosion. I'm going to add a keyframe at 0. Go to 20, I'm going to keep it at 0, add another keyframe, then I'm going to go to about 180 and put this to 1000. Actually, just go higher than 1000. Actually, I'm gonna put it to 5000 maybe. No, too high. 3000. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna put it on 3000 so there's like nothing left. And keep it at that for about 20 frames. No, not 20 frames, about 5 frames. Another keyframe right here. And then about 245, put it back down to 0. And then, yep, and then that's the keyframed explosion. That's it for that. So now if you look at what we have, you will just see it. You can't really see because I'm recording and my RAM is down. Yeah, you just follow the spheres. It explodes a lot. This isn't gonna work, but just follow it like this. So it's exploding, keeps going out, keeps going, and once you get to 180, it's like all the way out. It stays like that for a little bit, then it starts going back in, all the way up to 245. Actually, no, I don't want that at 245. I want it at 345. Yeah, that's not where I wanted it. So let's take this and I'm just gonna drag it over. Almost there. What did I say? 345? Yep, 345. And now, yeah, that's better. And now what I can do, just put this at like frame 0. I'm gonna add the lights. I'm just gonna get, nope, still there. The whole, all the radial outputs from the explosion is really just bugging me, but whatever. Alright, we're gonna do some lights. So, take a light. First one, I'm gonna put, yeah, down a little bit. No, like there. Yep, and then Control C, V, copy it, get an array, put the light on an array. So now we have like more lights. And go on the array and drag these ones down pretty far. And once those are down there, go on the array and just make the radius a bit higher. So now it has light coming from underneath as well as from the center. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that array, paste it, and bring this one up like really high and make the radius even bigger. And now I'm going to capture this from an above angle like this, and if I render it out, that's really bright. I need to darken the green. So yeah, I'm going to make this pretty much black. Actually, just keep going. And let's look at that. Yeah, it is a bit darker, but alright, that'll do. That will do. And it's just when they're right here, like if we go to about like here. Okay, why did no? Oh, it's because I took that off. Yeah. So yeah, you have a bunch of little pieces up here, and they're well lit, and they're all reflecting off each other. So once we do our render settings, then they'll be looking very, very good. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. But we're gonna keyframe the camera movement if we're gonna do any movement at all. I haven't decided. So let's just bring this back to like frame 0. And I'm gonna center this. About there. No, I missed. Alright, I think this looks pretty good. No, I don't want to spend too much time doing this. Good enough. So we're gonna start the camera about right here. So go into where the lights are and get a camera. Then go to cameras, scene cameras, camera. What this does, it pretty much makes it so that whatever you're seeing when you have the camera selected, it makes that the camera, so you don't have to manually move the camera. It's a lot easier this way. So at 0, you can add keyframe. Oh, make sure you take off automatic keyframing. Add a keyframe. And then I'm going to go to about 360. And I'm going to zoom out to about here. Add a keyframe. So now what that'll do is it'll just zoom out the camera as the explosion progresses. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the spheres all come together in the middle, and then they're just going to disperse. So let's minimize these. Alright, this is sphere. Alright, the array. I'm going to be keyframing the radius of this to make it smaller. So I'm going to go to, wait, where does the explosion end? The explosion ends at 345, so I'm going to go to 380. And I'm going to add a keyframe. Then I'm going to go to about 420, I'm thinking. 420, and no, that's not enough. 480, and make this 0. So it all appears to be just one sphere. And gotta add a keyframe. I'm going to make this a bit longer, 600 frames. And then I'm going to keep it like that. Actually, I'm going to make it even longer than that. 650. Alright, and then at about 60 frames later, at 540, I'm just going to add another keyframe to make sure that it stays at 0. And then at, let's see, 650. Then at the last frame, 650, put the radius just really high up. So that everything's just gone. You can't even see it. And then add a keyframe. So now what we have with this is when we get here, they all move together into this one big clump. And then they all disperse. They stay there for a bit. Yeah, hold on, let me just make sure this is all set. Right. Right now it is not all set. Right here, the radius should be at 400. And it should be at 360. It should 345. It should also be at 400. Okay. So then right here, it all just goes and clumps into this big ball, and then it just goes outwards. Hold on. Oh, I thought that was the sphere. I was like, why is that there? Alright, so I think that's it. I think that is it. Let's just play it. Alright, so the spheres explode. Camera is not zooming out. Hold on. Oh yeah, the camera's zooming out. Sphere's exploding. Still exploding. Oh, this is really long. But I'm gonna in part 2 of this, I'm gonna be working in After Effects, and I'm gonna be speeding it up and with Twixtor and stuff, and adding particles with particular. So yeah. And let's see, it goes out 180, stops. 200 starts coming back in, and now it's just going back in. While the camera is zooming out. And then if I slow-mo that, that's going to look really sick. Yep, and now it's coming back together. By about 3:45, it's together. And then the spheres go in the middle, and then they all just go outwards. And in Vegas, I'm going to have a camera shake. So, how long did I have these stay together for? I think I messed up somewhere. Hold on. Alright, why did it just go instantly to 0? Alright, this is weird. It goes instantly in one frame from 400 to 0. Why is it doing that? And why is it bigger than 400? I'm confused. Is there something I'm missing? Ooh, I don't know why it's doing this. Whatever. Just hold on. Delete this. Delete that. And delete that. Just delete these keyframes. And I'm going to try this again. Alright. Right here. Array should be at 400. And then next frame, 400, 400, yep. And then 380 right here goes to 0. Add a keyframe. No, what? I said 0. Okay. It keeps going back to 400. This is odd. Well, let's try turning on automatic keyframing. Alright, I think I got this. Yep, 400 here, down to 0. Stays at 0 for about 40 frames. And then in the next 80, it goes to a big number. Oh. Alright. Let's see. Not what I want. 420, it needs to be at 0. Why is it not at 0? This is weirding me out. I don't know what it's doing. Alright, 0. And then it's bigger. Alright, is this one 0? Yep. Okay, it's all set. And let me just end this at frame 500. Actually, I'm going to end it at 510. And this is done. So yep, that's part 1. Actually, I'm going to show you the render settings. I have it saved as a preset. So let me just go over this quick. Alright, 1280 720 resolution, 72 pixels per inch. Film aspect ratio, it should start as 1.778, or just 16:9 is pretty much what you want to make sure you have. pixel aspect ratio 1, square. Frame rate, just keep it at 30. 30's fine for an animation, because if you put it on more, it's going to take forever to render. Frame range, I just keep it on all frames, because it starts at 0 and goes to this number down here, the highest one. Or you can just manually put it in 0 to 510 frame, and yeah, it does the same thing. And then save. Choose an output destination. Let's do animation tutorial C4D. Let's click save, and then AVI movie, because it's you can do QuickTime. I recommend QuickTime, but I don't have the codec installed. If you do have the codec installed, I'd recommend QuickTime. And you can get options here. I can't show you for QuickTime, but for AVI I just use Intel IYUV codec, and just everything just stays at that default, and it works fine for me. 8-bit channel, the name, don't even change it. It will start as that. And rest of that, just keep it the same. Then multipass, you can put it on, but it really slows down your renders and doesn't really do that much more. Anti-aliasing. Let's see, geometry. This should be default, because I think you don't really change this stuff. And then options. I think some stuff I changed. Ray depth 6, reflection depth 2, shadow 6, and just look at these for a sec. You should have most of these. And then once that's done, just go to frame 0. And I messed up on the camera. As you can see, it's cut off up there. Ugh, jeez. Everything's so difficult. Well, let me just make sure it's zooming out. Right? Yep. So let me just change this. At 0, take off automatic keyframing, zoom out a little bit, and keyframe it. Okay, that's better. Alright, and then just click this right here, and it will start rendering all your frames. So yeah, that's about it for this tutorial, guys. Part 2, I will have After Effects and Sony Vegas, adding like a camera shake and particles and Twixtor, some color correction just to touch it up and make it look better. Alright guys, well until then, see you.